Welcome back to the 4th episode of this 4-episode series. Wow, that was a mouthful. So in this episode, I'm actually going to talk about kind of how I get eyeballs on my website and how you can potentially use some of these tips to get eyeballs on your website as well after you have a nicely done, laid out website. Hopefully you've seen the other videos. If you haven't, go back and check those out where I talk about Webflow, I talk about Figma, and I talk about kind of my planning process. And stay tuned. So again, this video is going to be talking about how I've been getting eyeballs and how I've planned out to get people kind of to look at my website. So first of all, obviously, as you're watching this video, this is a part of it. I'm actually documenting this whole thing, right? So, and you're watching it on YouTube, so that's one way that I'm getting eyeballs on my website. You probably watching the video, you probably have went to my website and checked it out. So that's a way to do that. Another pretty interesting way is to share your site on LinkedIn. Pretty much, you just made a brand new website and you kind of want to talk about it, so you could just post it on your LinkedIn, which is a professional environment. People are looking for your kind of work, and the people are looking for all kinds of work. That's a good place to post something like that and get a good amount of eyeballs. Instagram is also a fabulous place to post some of your work. You could show maybe even little screenshots of how you've improved your site or done things like that. Yes, it might be a lot of your friends. It might not be the professional world, but word of mouth will travel. People will see. Obviously, Dribbble is a really, really good place. If you haven't heard of it, there's a place called Dribbble.com with 3 B's. It's kind of like an Instagram, but mostly for design, and it's very specific to how to even get on Dribbble. You have to get selected by somebody else who has a Dribbble ticket for you to be able to post stuff on there, so the quality of work stays pretty high. So for example, if you don't have an account on Dribbble, you can actually you can go and search on Twitter, maybe hit me up and ask me about that. I might have some extra tickets, and kind of that's a really, really good place, and the quality stays up there. Again, I want to mention that the people that are on Dribbble, the quality is pretty high because you have to get selected to be there, and you're representing the person that selects you. So that's kind of how that works, and that's a really, really good place to show your work and show little pieces of your work. Podcasts are great, and I'm not talking about necessarily recording your own podcast. That's awesome as well, but actually being interviewed by somebody else in their podcast, and there you can talk about what you're good at and just kind of talk about what the subject matter is, but also reference your website, reference this new, really cool, nicely designed website that you have, and that will definitely get some eyeballs and get some attention on that. So also hitting up some of your past coworkers or people you've worked in the past. You can connect with them. You most likely have some of their phone numbers, or maybe you're connected with them on LinkedIn. Hopefully you've stayed in touch with them. It's always good to stay in your good network. Maybe message them your website and just say, hey, check that out, and now just get some attention, and maybe they might know something. And obviously you can talk to your friends and show send your links to your friends and hey, I made this new website, check it out, what do you think? That's something I already kind of do just for, personally, I like to get as much feedback as possible, even if it's unnecessary feedback, but just like really sending my work to as many people as possible. Then somebody might notice something that you didn't notice, like something might be off, or maybe something might be spelled like a wrong spelling. Different things like that have come up, and it's really helped me a lot. So really just show this thing to as many people as possible. I also strongly suggest getting Google Analytics and installing that on your website. It's very easy to do, and literally just like one line of code that you just put in there, and you can get a lot of information and learn a lot of things about your site, as far as like where people are coming from, how many people have visited, and just like all kinds of information. It's really, really useful, and you can really learn a lot and really, really improvise as you're learning. Very powerful tool, and it's completely free. I know, such a good deal, right? This concludes this video, and I hope you got some valuable information from this. I know I mentioned a lot of obvious stuff on this, but hopefully one of these tips is something you haven't thought of, and maybe it's something you can try out and just see how it goes. Anyways, again, I appreciate you checking out my video, and I appreciate you checking out this whole series, and good luck to you, and thank you very much. Have a good one.